Good evening and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Charlotte City Council. We're sorry we're starting a bit late this evening. We had some items at our earlier dinner meeting that ran a little long, so we apologize for keeping you sitting here. We're going to move right on into the agenda, and first we'll have the citizens hearing portion of the meeting, at which we'll hear folks address us on topics of their interest. Before we do that, we need to start first with introductions around so you know who's at the dais. And I'll start on my right, Madam Clerk.
Emily Kunze, Deputy City Clerk.
Al Austin, City Council, District 2.
Ed Driggs, District 7.
John Altry, District 5.
Patsy Kenzie, District 1.
Claire Fallon, at large.
Good evening, Michael Barnes, City Council at Large, Mayor Pro Tem.
Dan Clodfelder, Mayor.
Good evening, I'm Vi Lyle, City Council at large.
Greg Phipps, District 4.
Good evening, Kenny Smith, District 6.
Good evening, Luana Mayfield, District 3.
Bob Hageman, City Attorney.
Next up, I've got Mr. Fred Mauney, who wants to talk to us about Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Mayor, City Council members, it's been a little while since I was here, and last time I was here I was talking about the Speedway and how somebody should pay attention to things that's going on out there and stuff, and there's been quite a few things changed, and there's a lot more going on, so I'm here to kind of give everybody a little heads up. And Mr. Councilman Altry, you remember over a year ago, I was talking about one time was at Midwood thing, said somebody needs to pay attention because Duke's got this problem with this sludge. It hadn't been boiled over yet, but it was coming around. And since Duke has had this problem with this sludge, a big multi-million-dollar black-eyed PR problem. And I got with some friends, and they got me up with some people off the record with some Duke people tied at least with Duke. And I said, I've got something that I did you might want to consider. And it was to think out of the box, and that was to do something with Bruton Smith about buying the Speedway. And so they looked kind of funny, and I said, just went over to them that there's a trash, dump city trash place or whatever it is, private dump out there. It's not against any waterway or a reservoir. There's a line coming in down Harrisburg to make a spur to bring over the ash that they ship out from all the other coal plants and stuff that they got to clean up. And so they said, well, I said, just think of it as an out-of-the-box experience, because y'all might think out of the box to get this problem done. And so they thought more and more about it, and they said, gosh almighty, this is a piece of property that's viable to them. And so they asked me, well, what does Mr. Smith think? And I said, well, I want y'all first look at it, and I'll get back with him. I'm talking to one person that talks to him. And I said, if Duke Energy makes you a reasonable offer, would he sell? And they said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, $1 billion for him and $500 million or so to build a new speedway somewhere. And they said, Bruton come back, and they couldn't comprehend it, and said he's not interested in selling. So I understood what they weren't comprehending. They didn't know that this thing came out where Duke themselves had said they're going to have to spend maybe $10 billion, and everybody knows that could be $20 billion before it's over with, to the ratepayer. And so I took that back to the Smith people. Now they know there's a viable thing going on, and that there's real big money on the table somewhere. And so I said, as I talked with them, I said, now does that change anything? And they said, well, it depends on what Duke Energy has to say. And I said, well, if they said $2 billion and $1 billion to build a super speedway somewhere, because we're talking about this $10 billion figure, and they just kind of smiled and said, that would indicate me to find out more. Well, this time when I'm back with some people behind the scenes on Duke Energy, it's indicated to me I'm actually talking to somebody now that's way up to the top. They speak right to the people at the top, and they quizzed me a little more to make sure I was in contact with some of Bruton Smith's people, and which I didn't mind answering. And I said, "Was this kind of figure to be all right?" And do you want me? Anybody want to let me finish real quick? You want me just to? This is an issue because y'all getting ready to lose $500 million a year in tax revenue. That goes to y'all's treasury. Not that y'all tax $500 million. Y'all actually lose $500 million a year.
That's not something we want to have happen, so we're going to follow your work on this very closely, Mr. Mooney. Thank you for coming down tonight.
Because if he's out in Sonoya, he's now stopping in Vegas to talk to them billionaires about that $100 million for a race. And they're looking now where would they move the speedway, and it wouldn't be around this area.
We want to keep it here. Thank you for coming down tonight and alerting us to that. Thank you. We appreciate it.